Hey guys, happy Thursday, March 19th here. Hope you guys have been having fun the last few days and are ready to get after another workout. If you've been jumping in on the Zoom calls, they are amazing. They're at 5 a.m., noon, and 5 p.m. They're an hour workout, coach-led. Coach isn't doing the workout, maybe showing you, or definitely showing you movements and showing you those scalings, giving you the same suggestions that they would be in class. So if you're gonna do that, don't worry about watching this video and checking out the show notes. But if you aren't jumping in on a call, still get after this today. Read through the show notes and then watch the video for what your modifications are. If you're not seeing anything that addresses what equipment you have or lack of equipment, just comment or send us an email. So especially our members, we want you guys checking in, letting us know what isn't working for you if there's something that's not working. So for today, we're gonna start out with a question every day. Like I said, we're gonna ask you guys a question. Today's is, what is one thing on your bucket list? I'm gonna save my answer for the members that are in the call with me at 5 p.m. tonight, so they get to hear what it is, but everyone else, share yours in the Facebook group or jump in on one of the calls. Then our PreWOD today, or sorry, our warm-up today, I'll go through that with you guys here right away. For our PreWOD and our WOD, PreWOD we're hitting backside would be deadlifts if we had our barbell. We're gonna work on some RDLs and some glute bridge holds. And then our workout today is gonna be beach muscles. So we're gonna get a really good upper body pump going. And yeah, have some fun with it. So for our warm up, we're just gonna do that 30-second clock again. If you did yesterday's warm up, it gets you really good if you move for those 10 minutes. So 9 minutes, but 30-second movements, I'll show those here. Again, everything's in the show notes, but I just wanna show you what the movements are. So that first one we have is 30 seconds, move my equipment. 30 seconds of a Heisman, so kind of like the Heisman Trophy runner, right? So that's why they're called Heismans. Shh. I gotta make the noise or it's harder for me to show. But you're just doing 2 foot and then lift. If this is super challenging for you, maybe like time-wise is hard, we can just do high knees in place. But I'd like you to work on that coordination if you can. 30 seconds of Heismans, then we'll go into 30 seconds of a Cossack squat. Just gonna kind of change that angle here. That Cossack squat, we're nice and wide in our stance, sending those hips down. I should say sending those hips back, that knee out. It might not be as low for you. You might just be making it to here. We're just opening up those hips here. So we'll go 30 seconds of Cossack squats. Then we'll go into 30 seconds of cat-cow. So you're in that table position. You're rising like a cat and sinking that belly like a cow. 30 seconds, loosening up that low back here. Especially if you did all those dumbbells, snatches, yesterday's workout, you wanna get that done. Then you'll go onto the ground into Windshield Wipers, so feet up, relax, and just going left and right at the knees only. Getting those hips again. And then we'll go into 30 seconds of cricket. So I'm gonna change that angle again here just a little bit. There we go, 30 seconds of crickets. So for those crickets, you're in a plank position, coming like you're doing a pigeon stretch, but then you're gonna switch. They're called crickets because you can hear my feet, they sound like a cricket. So 30 seconds of those, and then we'll go 30 seconds just in the bottom of your squat, holding that bottom of the squat position. Go through that 3 rounds. I'll just show those again real quick here. We've got that Heisman for 30 seconds of a Heisman, wide stance, 30 seconds of those Cossack squats, sending those hips back, 30 seconds in a table position, hitting cat, cow, into 30 seconds of windshield wipers. Then we'll come to that plank position, crickets. I'll show that from the front here too. And then stepping to the bottom of your squat. Nice inactive stretch here, driving those knees out. That should get you good and warmed up for that lower half to get ready for that pre-WOD. So for our pre-WOD today, we're gonna hit some RDLs, ideally with weight. If you have no weighted objects, there's something in your house that you can use. If it's a backpack, find an odd object. I mean, like I have what's that thing called? The air fryer. You could hold that like a kettlebell for sure. Any odd object that you can think of that you could use. We're gonna get after weighted RDLs. Again, if you have absolutely nothing, send us a message. We'll figure it out for you. That's what the coaches are here to do. And then we'll go directly into a 30-second glute bridge hold. So we'll go through that. Then you're gonna rest. So this is gonna be, like I said, it's in the show notes, so make sure you're looking at those. But every 3 minutes for 4 total rounds. So you'll work through your 8 to 10 reps of RDL, then you'll go into a glute bridge hold right away, and then rest until the rest of those 3 minutes is up. So I'm just gonna show what that RDL looks like. Depending on what equipment you have, it's gonna be a little bit different on what you're holding, but the RDL itself, you're keeping a slight bend in the knees, setting those hips like they're going back to the wall behind you, and then keeping that nice and close to your body, and then snap to stand. One thing we want to do with that deadlift is to make sure our feet are directly underneath our hips as we send our hips back and snap to stand. So if we had weight, we're gonna go for these. We're gonna do a 3-count lowering today. So soft bend in the knees, send those hips back, keeping that chest angle up, going to wherever you can. About the mid shin is good. You're not gonna reach for that back round. You're just gonna go to that mid shin, snap to stand. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, snap to stand. So again, we're going through 8 to 12 of those, ideally taking no more than 1.5 minutes as you work through those. So it's really not meant to be super, super heavy load. Right after that, you're gonna go into our glute bridge raise. So that glute bridge raise, we're gonna hold in it. You're gonna get your heels as close to your backside as you can, bringing those shoulders tucked underneath you, and then drive those hips through the ceiling. So we want to think about creating a nice arch here. We're not hanging out with those hips below the knees. Think about driving them. If you could, they would get above the knees. That's obviously not going to happen, but getting them as high as you can, squeezing the butt, driving through those heels. If you have to bring up your toes to remember to drive through your heels, that's fine. You can even press those hands into the ground. You're going to hang out there for 30 seconds. And then relax for the rest of probably 1 minute of rest, and then you're getting right back into that. If you have to scale back those reps because that's too taxing, you've got 8 to 12 reps for that RDL. You don't have to do all 12. You're gonna get a good workout in either way. So that's the pre-WOD. For the WOD today, we're hitting beach muscles. We're gonna get that upper body pump. Again, we've got 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, and then a full 4th minute of rest. So basically, you're doing 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, 30 seconds of work, 90 seconds of rest would be the reality there. So minute 4 is completely rest. With those movements here, depending on what object you have, gonna have a lot of different things, but we've got strict press, so it's gonna either be with a dumbbell, kettlebell, plate, maybe you have an odd object that you do, and then if you don't have any odd objects, we're gonna sub that for dips. And then the other movements I'll go through next, but let's just go through those variations of strict press. So if you have a dumbbell, I'm just gonna do mine with 1 dumbbell. If you have a couple dumbbells and that's like light enough for you to do strict press with both, go ahead and do that. But if you have a little heavier dumbbell, we can still do that strict press. You're gonna come in that front rack position. Your hands are gonna automatically be about shoulder distance apart. We still wanna think about pushing our elbows away from each other in that front rack position rather than like a saggy, sad elbow. So bringing in that front rack shelf and then pressing up and through that window at the top. See if I can step back a little bit. Lowering back down and pressing up. So hitting that strict press for 30 whole seconds, going for max reps, knowing that you're going right into rest. If you don't have a dumbbell, again, it's gonna look a little different for everyone. We could have a plate maybe, same thing, hands on the outside, You're gonna start in that front rack position. It's a little bit lower here, and then press up overhead. If you have that plate, it's probably better that you're actually here, and then pressing up and through, so you're not arching your back a ton. But either way, just finishing with that overhead extension, arms locked out. If you have a kettlebell, probably a little bit more challenging to do, but we can get it done with a goblet position. So your hands can be, sorry, this thing's falling down on me. You can do it with a kettlebell goblet style, like you're holding a chalice, and then here, pressing up overhead. So again, it's still doable. From the front, it looks like this. And then always that option to do single arm. So if your weight's actually too light for it to feel challenging when you're holding with both, single arm strict press is great. Just alternate at the 15-second mark. So go 15 seconds right arm, 15 seconds left arm. Hitting that max rep for your strict press. If you have none of that equipment, we'll go with a dip. So, push-up. So we've done push-ups a few times this week. If you have to do them on your knees, great. If you can, staying in that plank position, lowering, sending those elbows back, and then pressing away from the floor. Knees down, same exact movement. So for that strict press, you're either hitting it with whatever plate or odd object you have, dumbbell, kettlebell, plate, or you're getting after push-ups. The next movement we have is dip. So for those dips, a couple different things you could use, and I'll show you all my weird, odd household objects that I could use. I'm gonna start with the chair. So if you have a chair, most of us have chairs. I actually just got stools in my apartment, so don't judge. Hands here, trying to make 90-degree angles as we lower, so you can bend depending on what you have and how high it is. You might have to use your legs as support, making those 90-degree angles. And then to make it more challenging, you can kind of stick those legs straighter, move them further away. I like to think about sending my hips directly down though, if I can get that full dip. I want my hips to go straight down versus going out. So, I'm getting a little lock up. Those are the dips with the chair. You can also do them on your couch. It's the exact same movement, a little bit lower. You got a little cushion, but once you're on it, that couch is gonna stay firm and the same. Drop. If those are too challenging, again, tuck those knees closer, use your legs more for the push out. Last odd object that I'll show would just be here. My TV stand. So again, finding that good position. If you need those assistance of the legs, great, use them. If not, kick the legs straight. A little bit more challenging there. So those are your dip options. One thing we talk about with members all the time is that progressive scaling. So try to pick a challenge for yourself with that dip that you just stay at. Maybe you do the next rounds, you do less reps, but rather than continuously making it easier when your muscles are saying, hey, we're dying out on you, don't make it easier for yourself, just do less reps of it. If you make it easier, then you're pushing past your muscles saying, whoa, stop. So just a piece of advice there. The last movement we have is the curl. So this is where it's getting a little weird when it depends on what equipment you have. You might have to use something from your house, like a purse is great, backpack, anything heavy, duffel bag. But if you don't have any of that, then we'll just use, and if you have equipment, then we'll use that instead. So you should have some odd object from your house for curls, but if you have weight, we'll use that. So if you have a dumbbell, likely too heavy for single arm curls. If you just have one, if you have two, maybe you have a light enough one, you can do single arm, switching over 15 seconds. If you have one, you're gonna hold that dumbbell in the two heads, coming up, trying to keep those elbows at the sides. So I like to think about it as my elbows are connected to my rib cage as I lift. So the dumbbell, just gonna hold it there. If you have a kettlebell, you can use both handles. You're gonna have a little bit more of a narrow grip here. Curling it up. You can do single arm kettlebells depending on the weight that you have. And then if you have a plate, still very doable. Hold that here at the hip, trying to get it like close to the body, and then just curling it up. You might have a reduced range of motion, but that's not always a bad thing in this. It'll still give you a really good pump in a beach body type workout. So again, we've got beach muscles hitting a full 30 seconds of strict press up overhead or push-ups if we're no objects. Then we've got those dips on whatever surface you can manage, bending those legs to make it easier. And then you've got curls to finish it out, making sure that those elbows are nice and close to the side. So no matter what you have for equipment, if you've got that kettlebell, you're just gonna be a little bit more narrow. If you've got those dumbbells or plates, still notice that elbow is connected. So 30 seconds of each, 30 seconds of rest, 1 full minute of rest for minute 4, getting after that 4 total times. Have some fun. Let us know how it goes.